will be focusing on the Sino-Israeli cooperation in robotics, and I want to think of it as a win-win plus synergy. We hear all the time about cooperation between China and many other countries. Question is this form of cooperation sustainable? For example, is buying companies in other countries the way to grow the other country's industry, and is it sustainable more than a few years? Like, what will happen if one country will buy the entire industry of another country? Is this something we can tolerate? This is a picture that was taken in around 2002 or 2000, and this is Aibo, the robotic dog by Sony, and this is a little kid. He must have been 5 years, maybe today is around age 20, 25, or 20 or 18. When I'm asking students, what do you see here? Some people say, well, I see a kid, I see a dog, I see a ball. What I see here is robots and humans working together. Not only that, this kid, when this picture was taken, he was not afraid of that dog. And when that dog was nodding its head, actually he probably felt connected to that dog. When somebody interacts with you, you very quickly forget that this is a machine. You appreciate the interaction itself. So I believe that this is going to be in our future, but let's leave the future for now and let's talk about more of the present. This is the present. What we see here is basically the evolution of the robotics, the evolution of the robotics industry, of the robotics revolution, and it was started in the 80s, and we are now in what I think is the second phase of this robotics revolution. And the milestone was in 2002 when Roomba came out to our homes. That was the first time that a robot came out. You could buy a robot for $100, $200. I remember that it was sold in Walmart, and this was sold as a Christmas present. So instead of $60,000 that would cost you a robot that you put in your laboratory or industry, this would cost only $200. We are now about 15 years after the introduction of Roomba, and there are not that many Roombas or alternatives to Roomba and other products that are on the market. I believe, and this is my own prediction, that everything that can move will eventually move robotically. So it will be your smartphone that will come to you rather than you searching for the smartphone. It will be the chair that will come to you and will adjust itself whenever you need adjustments. It will be any device in the house or the furniture. Much of it will at least will have the capability of moving robotically. If you want it or not, that's your choice, but at least the capability will be there. So when we talk about this, the potential of these kind of devices is endless, and this probably is going to be a huge industry. There are several serious market failures that make life for roboticists very difficult. One is this is a multidisciplinary field, meaning that you have to have knowledge and the control of several technologies. Not every company can handle this. Hardware, and I mean mechanical hardware, connecting into software, this is hard work. Very hard work, and everybody who develops robots knows that well. You need, as a result, very large investments, and it takes much longer time to actually see something happening. Question is, what do we do about it? So as engineers, we see a problem, we try to break it down into smaller problems that we can digest. The market is hungry to see new products, and these products are not coming out fast enough. This is my approach to solving this problem. Just think small and simple, think about something that solves one problem, does it effectively, and send it to the market as quickly as possible. Now, why Israel and China? Now, what I say here, innovation meets market and manufacturing, this is like a cliche. You know, we have the innovation, China has the market and manufacturing, therefore we should cooperate. Yeah, easy said, and sometimes actually it may be even demeaning. What does it mean, that China doesn't have any innovation? I wouldn't want to think that way. You want to do cooperation with somebody you trust. You cannot do cooperation, true cooperation, sustainable cooperation, with somebody who you think is stealing your ideas. And this is sometimes the notion that if you do business with Chinese companies, they will steal your ideas. We have to develop trust between, say, the Israeli, in this case, Israeli industry and the Chinese industry. We have to respect each other. So we have to know that everybody brings something equal to the table. It's not that we are bringing knowledge and all the Chinese are bringing is just a little bit manufacturing. No, I would like to think that we bring knowledge, Chinese partners bring knowledge, different type of knowledge, but it's also knowledge. And knowledge is worth money or equity, so it's not something we should demean the other partners. So that's something important, and affinity. You have to like the people you deal with, and I think that's something that Chinese culture, I think, appreciate, because things are done on a personal level. You have to like the people, or appreciate the people you are dealing with. And of course, after all of this is met, you have to have some cooperation mechanism. What do you do? Okay, you like everybody, you trust everybody, what do you do? So I'm proposing in a few slides, I'm proposing my solution, my proposal to this. So we want to think about win-win plus cooperation, and the plus I think is very important. The plus is what will make this cooperation sustainable, because without the plus, it can break down very quickly. So we are talking about not just joint research, which already we have in place in some agreements, we are talking about joint R&D, meaning we don't just invent and develop everything until it's ready, send it to China for manufacturing. No, we want to jointly develop these products and use the knowledge that we get from China to better develop this product. Now, what you see on the right is this is an orchard, a young orchard. Now, usually investors, they like an older tree with low-hanging fruits. They are ready to pay for it a fortune, but somebody had to grow this tree. And once you take all the fruits out of these trees, you will be left with nothing. Now, it's very clear, as I said earlier, that the robotics industry is very small. If you start buying robotics companies, you will be left with nothing. You will be left with all the Israeli robotics industry belonging or sitting in China. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, and both sides have to understand that this is not sustainable. And what I'm proposing here, and this is something that I'm now trying, and I will show you what we are doing, trying to do it with our partners in Guangzhou, is to help Chinese investors, Chinese industry, grow these trees, plant these trees, and grow them together. Meaning that we want investment at early stage of these companies so that we have more trees, eventually we'll have more fruits to pick. We have to do talent nurturing, meaning that if we do something jointly, Chinese engineers, researchers will come to Israel, Israelis will go to China, everybody will learn something, and eventually the whole thing will go together. And the way to reduce risk is we are proposing, and we already done some, we are proposing to establish joint robotics institutes, which in other words is a smart incubator. What is a smart incubator? It's basically an incubator that does not provide only real estate. We want to get technology in these locations. Meaning if I'm developing a LiDAR or a sensor for autonomous vehicles, I need the autonomous vehicle to test my sensor. I cannot do that by myself. I want this smart incubator to provide for me. And of course, they have to focus on market-driven, and they have to have strong connection to industry and funding. Otherwise, there's no outlet for this big effort. And this is, I will skip that, but this is like another way to explain what does it mean, the smart incubator. On the left, you see Israel, this is blue. On the right, you see China, this is red. They provide funding, we provide technology and ideas, but at the end, we come out together with joint products that we can both benefit. And this is what we have already established in Guangzhou. This is the Guangzhou Sino-Israeli Robotics Institute. It was initiated founded by a group in Guangzhou and by the Israeli Robotics Association. We are joined by 3 major universities in Israel, 2 local universities around Guangzhou, and at the bottom, this is the funding company that actually provides fuel for this operation. And we have a few significant member companies, and you remember we have to have strong connection to the market and to the industry. This is it. Meaning that whatever we are going to do in this institute, these will be the companies that will see first if they like it or not. If they like it, it will be theirs, and we'll do it jointly with them. So we are now ready, actually, maybe in a few months we'll announce the first projects that are going to be done in this institute, and everybody is invited, of course, to check in and see how they can contribute, how they can invest. Everything is open. And in summary, I think that we should start looking at the market in much shorter time frames, so the window of opportunity is open now. Everybody is excited about robotics. You bring something interesting to the market, I think there will be a good market for that. We still don't have a magic bullet to resolve the large project problem. The Robotics Institute is one way to alleviate the pain, but still a large project will take a lot of money and will take a long time. And we have to be aware when we talk about cooperation that there are some things that have to be met. Otherwise, it's a short-term rendezvous. And of course, the Robotics Institute may accelerate the introduction of new products and the creation of new companies that we needed not only in Israel, not only in China, but worldwide. And thank you very much.